everybody, I'm Mad Max, and with me is my friend Sunseahl, and this is the SSS Interviews. And Sun has been my friend for what, 2, 3, 4 years, something like that.
Possibly like that. Hello, sweeties.
Yup. This is my friend Sun. I've been waiting for this one for a long time because I have a bunch of random ass questions I never asked you that I always meant to ask you. And they're really, really, really banal, but I don't care.
So this is the interview that you've had notes for 3 years.
Oh
Okay.
shit, no. I don't take notes. Every time I
Oh no,
try.
you had notes for the questions you wanted to ask.
Yeah, barely. Yeah, dinky little post-it notes stuck in my brain that barely are literate because small fonts and stuff. So, son, where the hell were you born?
Well, right here in the southern state of Arkansas.
Really? Same town?
Mhm. Pretty much, yeah.
Wow, that actually surprises me. I figured you'd have moved around a little bit, like even within the state.
So here's the thing. I have moved around a little bit and came right back here.
Oh, there you go. That's cool.
Yeah, my
So,
father was in the Air Force, so I've been stationed at the Little Rock Air Force Base and the Oklahoma City Air Force Base. Conveniently, we moved to Oklahoma City kind of like within a couple of weeks after the Oklahoma City bombing.
oh, Timothy.
So that was we're
Timely.
worried stuff's going to happen next elsewhere kind of thing for
Would
my mother.
Would you say that moving to Oklahoma City was the bomb? That's right. I'm that kind of asshole. So, do you have any fun stories from the Air Force, or were you too young to remember any?
Most of them. See, okay, so I grew up in the 90s,
Like you
and
do.
an Air Force base is completely different from, like, you hear all these other military brat stories. Like, in the Little Rock Air Force Base, we had the commissary like normal so that's your big grocery shopping stuff. And what most other places like the army would call the BX, Basic Exchange, was called at the Air Force Base the PX, the Public Exchange, which was basically the Sears of the Air Force Base. So you'd go there for like your housewares and stuff like that, but it's also where they had all the video games. Hey, kid goes to the video game section right off.
Oh, of course. That's what you do.
So one of my earliest like self experiences with video games, just like straight up playing video games, is I don't remember what system it was, but it was Primal Rage, I think it was. Where it was like all the different
Oh, yeah.
it was like Mortal Kombat with monsters.
Primal Rage was a great idea hamstrung by the consoles. It was way better in the arcade. The
But yeah, no, that was amazing, right?
game is fucking
Um,
ridiculous. I love it.
but at the same time, there was at that time we like my family has had stuff around forever. Like my okay, so my grandparents had their youngest at a really late age. Like he was getting into college by the time I was going into like fifth or sixth grade.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, and like he had some of the old video game stuff. He
Yeah, the
had
stuff
like
I grew up with.
I mean, but yeah, but he had some of the stuff like before we know of the Atari and stuff.
Oh, the
He had a
Fairchild stuff, the Intellivision, the what is that
mm-hmm,
other one from Mattel?
ColecoVision.
Yeah,
Um, but he had a Magnavox Odyssey.
that was the one I was thinking of. Damn.
It's like, damn. So yeah. Um got to get that and play with that for a little while. So
Oh, that
that
must have been
was
a trip.
yeah. Um but like one of the big things I remember from the Air Force Base, because it's an Air Force Base, is all the flying shows that show up on base. right?
That actually explains some of the posts that you've had on our Collegie.
And the air shows are the one time that the air base is actually open to the general public. And not only is the air show its own little thing, it also becomes like this marketing event as well.
Yeah, try to get
And
people into the
so
Air Force.
right. And so at the same time as there is a full on actual full up SR-71 Blackbird, like a fucking actual Blackbird right there in front of everyone just on display. There's this giant inflatable Cheezosaurus Rex when he was the mascot for Kraft mac and
Yeah,
cheese.
yeah, yeah.
Like, that is one of the most prominent memories in my head from my time on the air base.
Jesus Christ. That is a juxtaposition. The Kraft dinosaur and a top of the line.
It
Um,
it it, it explains my eclectiveness so well.
yeah, it really fucking does. That is two way diametrically opposed points just converging. Speaking of strange points converging, you're trans. When did you find that out? I'm almost positive you told me, but I've forgotten.
Definitely post puberty. Yeah, the politics aside, it was a post puberty thing, mostly because the information was much more available post puberty.
Yeah. Well, back in the day, what was this? Early aughts, mid aughts, around there.
Well, yeah,
Yeah, back in the day,
I would.
there wasn't the push to have kids do this shit.
Yeah, I mean, it was late odds for me.
Yeah. So how did that come about? Like, was it a just an overall feeling of not being right, finally kind of coalescing into I want to be a woman now, or was it
It
some?
was it was a bunch of steps, and it took a while to get all of those steps to converge to, I, I guess you could say, the doorway of figuring it all out. You know,
I bet that must have been a happy moment when you finally figured it all out. Kind of like when I got my fibro diagnosis. Yeah, it's horrible news, but finally I've got a name for this fucking thing.
in a way, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it did feel like a massive relief.
It's like, great, I want to be a woman. I finally figured it out. Ah, oh, fuck, I live in Arkansas.
See, that's believe it or not, a lot of places down here are more liberal than some of the places on the West Coast.
I do believe it, but only because I've talked to a few different people from a few different southern states, and a lot of southerners hate the southern stereotype a lot more than a lot of the people in, the flyover states or the West.
Well, see, that's the thing, though. The one of the truest Southern stereotypes is the hospitality.
Oh, yeah.
Like, folks around here, we don't give a shit who you are. Just do what you got to do and move on with your life. We can make friends, we can be friends, we can have political disagreement and all that kind of stuff. And it's not a bother to a lot of us. The problem with places like the East Coast and the West Coast is they regulate everything into the ground until you have to have a label to stand out.
And this wasn't even a politics thing because this was happening before politics. I mean,
Absolutely.
look at New York in the fucking 30s and 20s.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's interesting that you bring up the hospitality because I've got to be one of the rare Northerners who did that, who does that, who tries to be respectful to everyone, who tries to talk to everybody, who doesn't, just hate on someone because they disagree with me politically.
Yeah, I have to agree. That's it. A lot of northern people see not just southern people, but like trans in the southern community as as victims of brainwashing or some such thing. And to be honest, that's bigotry, guys.
Yeah. The thing that pisses me off about just the LGBTQ plus AI, whatever the fuck it is now thing in general, is how it's equated to general sluttiness, and that was never the point of it. I mean that aspect of the party lifestyle did exist for a long time, and it still does, but that wasn't the main thing. The main thing, at least from what I was taught in my liberal ass school in California, was we're gay, we want to be accepted, and my whole thing was I'm I don't care who you fuck, just do it legally. And you know, it wasn't a big deal to me. I didn't understand why it was a big deal to everybody else.
Well, and I can somewhat explain that being from the South. In the South, you have a very, very, very religious culture, and
The Bibli Belt.
God only knows why Christianity has accepted being beaten down so fucking much when,
Guilt complex.
well, maybe, but not really, considering the South still literally has firebrands.
That's true enough. So
But
you
like the big thing over the whole issue was that compromise could be had. Oh, and a lot of Southern politicians would not admit this. Will never admit this because a bunch of the people who were opposing it were gay themselves. But a compromise could be had in the form of civil unions. If civil unions were accepted and given complete access to the same rights and benefits as marriage, a lot of the South was willing to agree. And that's specifically from the standpoint that marriage, from their belief, from the biblical belief, is seen as a religious ceremony,
yeah,
not
marriage
just
has
it's right. It's not just a wedding. It is a religious union.
marriage has Jesus, civil union doesn't. And in California, when Prop 8 failed or passed, I can't remember which, um, where, I mean, it was overwhelming that California wanted civil unions over marriage. And that surprised me because I saw how liberal California was back then. And I thought for sure they were going to go with the whole marriage thing. And my whole thing was if it's the same thing and it keeps everyone happy, then what's the fucking problem? Apparently,
The problem is that
we want
problem
the
is
whole
that's
cake.
that's where you started to see the cracks in the LGBT community.
Yeah,
You saw
that
the
was the
you saw the
canary.
people you saw the people who wanted the power to rule, and that's where they started coming to the fore.
That was the rainbow print canary in the coal mine.
Something like
Tweet,
that.
tweet. I'm by. I can make
Now
that joke.
and now they have Twitter.
That's a good one. I almost snorted coffee through my nose.
Well, I mean,
Goodness
you
me.
set up the pins. I just knocked them over.
There you go. So you discovered your trans. What did you go? Where did you go from there?
Well, to be honest, very little. Like I haven't gone as far as most of my younger my youngers in the trans community.
Your weans, yeah.
I I Good lord.
See, the reason it
Some
makes me
some
laugh. The reason it makes me
some with
laugh.
some without weans now.
Yeah, right. The reason it makes me laugh is because you are so fucking matronly. You are so motherly to everybody. I mean, on your streams, in the Discord, you're motherly everywhere. And I have to keep reminding myself constantly that you're, biologically male. Because between the voice and the motherly instincts, it just doesn't click to me for so often of the time. And I mean, in my opinion, that's how trans people should be. That's how I was taught they were. Trans people want to be the opposite sex. There wasn't any real big, I didn't know why. I kept asking and I kept getting shot down with, horrible names. And then you came in and gave me a bunch of medical stuff. And now I understand it a bit better. But my whole understanding from the outset was they want to be the other sex. Okay. I don't have a big problem with that. And then, as well,
Look, I don't think anybody at their core, I don't think anybody does have a problem with trans people. I think the problem comes when you have groups and organizations like what people think of the church used to having been, as when you come and push ideals upon people. And that's what's going on in the trans community right now.
I hate that trans is trendy. And as somebody who doesn't have a horse in that race, it just bugs the shit out of me. Just like it bugged the shit out of me when autism was the fucking de rigueur thing to do. That's
Well,
why.
I mean,
Go ahead.
I mean, the same thing happened in the 80s.
Yeah,
You had a resurgence of the Christian movement. That's where the Christian right came to power. and
Yeah.
it became very trendy to be Christian again. That's why you see so many politicians who aren't Christians say that they're Christian.
And then in
Like,
the
and
90s, it was ADD.
I'll admit it, guys. Let me pop your bubble. Trump is not a Christian.
Oh no, Trump is a capitalist, and I mean that with a capital C.
Anybody who looked at that man hold that book, that Bible up in front of that burnt ass church knows that man is not a Christian.
Oh god, yeah, there's no fucking way. And Biden isn't a Christian either. Biden is insane. You can't be a
Oh no,
Christian if you can't fucking think far enough to understand what a Bible is.
like,
My
well, it's not
brother,
even that. It's not even that. Even before that, Biden's just an Epsteinite.
yeah, that's a good way of saying pedophile. That's a really good way of saying pedophile. It's a good thing I don't care what YouTube does to me.
Yeah. Joe Biden is just an Epsteinite. He talks nonstop about stories of children being all over him, and then there's all the videos of him sniffing girls' hair and shit. And so many old women go, that's just him being a dad and shit. It's like, no,
No, it really isn't.
no.
Yeah.
Because old ass Bush did the same fucking thing, and even Lady Bush, who was right there behind him pushing his wheelchair, would roll her eyes and scoff at his behavior because she knew it was uncouth.
Who, H-Dub?
The big daddy Bush,
Yeah, H-Dub.
the first president. Yeah,
The one who signed the ADA, yeah. I didn't
yeah.
know that. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. I think the last good president we had was Reagan, and good is kind of a weird word to use with Reagan. Reagan was hit or miss to the extreme.
It's because Reagan was an actor. He could be led.
That's true, and I love that he stopped wars because he was that crazy. And then Trump did the same fucking thing and it worked like a charm. I mean, say what you want about how terrible a human being Trump is, he's legitimately crazy enough to push nukes.
But see, that's the thing. Reagan got what he Reagan got what he got done simply because he was a charismatic actor. What Trump got done is simply through charismatic terror.
Yeah, he brute forced it. Reagan at least had the decency to use finesse.
And a lot of the good stuff that came out of Reagan was Reagan thinking for himself.
It does happen every so often.
like the assassination attempt. That was Reagan. That was him going off script. Like, I'm not gonna ban guns. What the fuck? Are you nuts?
My favorite assassination president thing was Wacko Jacko. Somebody tried to kill him and he beat the shit out of him with his fucking cane.
Still though, Vermin Supreme 2024, please. Look, anybody who wears a boot on his head is more qualified to be president than anybody else in the running right now. I'm dead serious. Even Trump.
I would vote for zombie Teddy Roosevelt. It takes more than death to kill a bull moose.
Good Lord.
Oh Christ. So,
well, that was a fun tangent.
Oh yeah, we go on all the shit. We've done these on fucking streams. We've done these on voice calls. This is old hat for us. So, what did you end up settling on doing to affirm your transness to yourself?
Well, like I said, this is kind of like the end of the age of old school transition. So you've got the doctors who say wait and ask a whole bunch of questions, and they needle, and there's a reason for the needling. It's that it's actual gatekeeping.
They want to be absolutely fucking sure that, this big surgery that you're doing, all these hormones, all the way you're fucking with your body is actually going to help you.
Right. And that's why there's multiple gates along the way.
Yep. Well, I mean, it's the same for any big invasive surgery, like fucking bariatric surgery. You can't just go getting that. I mean, unless you have like $20,000, but.
Except now you can, because the the American Heart Association now shows benefits from from bariatric surgeries, like lap band
Uh,
and stuff.
and
And
here I
they're
lost all the fucking weight on my own, and I can't get a damn skin surgery. Well, we'll find that out on Wednesday. But anyway,
look,
so how far
look,
did you
look,
get?
just say you're Mike Huckabee.
That's great. So what did you end up, or how far did you end up getting into the process?
Well, see, that's the thing. It's weird because most of that process starts with social transition. Already done that,
Yeah, I was gonna
as
say
you
you
can
fucking
as you
knocked
can
that
see.
out.
Right. Um, the next process is typically hormones,
And
and
you don't
I
need meds to
actually
make a hormone. She has a girlfriend of 5 years. Don't worry about it. Wait, is it 5 years or is it longer?
um God, it's been a while. I don't even remember. We don't we don't keep track of anniversary dates anyway, so
Eh, I mean,
but um it's typically you start on hormones and then you start because of the hormones you start going through bodily changes, right? Loss of hair, loss of testosterone, the gaining of breasts and all that kind of stuff. But reading, just studying what I would go through and finding out the stuff that you're not going to be told about in transition or
so
going through transition.
such as
Well, again, with the loss of testosterone comes the loss of strength. So, yeah, you grow up as a guy and you're carrying the TVs around for your parents into this room or that room when they move stuff around or buy a new TV. You kind of couldn't do that anymore. And this was still at the time when CRTs were still a TV.
no more yoking a
So,
couch out a window, huh?
like, you're still dealing with the cathode ray tube television. So those were some heavy motherfuckers. But now everything's like liquid crystal display or LCD, so all those TVs are like light as shit. But you still are going to lose a lot more strength than you think you are. And even though you're going to be losing a lot of strength, you're still going to be way more effective at overpowering the opposite sex at any given opportunity.
Well, yeah,
Right?
because you went through male puberty. Yeah, you went through male puberty. You got all of the hormones that males usually get.
Right, and see, even though you are suppressing your testosterone by trying to replace it with estrogen, your body is still producing testosterone. Like, it's still producing more testosterone than a female will.
So was that why you decided not to go through the whole actual transitioning process? Was the testosterone, or did you find some scarier shit?
Well, I kind of did find scarier shit. Um, that was after making a decision though, but the decision came with finding out what it was that would make my dysphoria stop. And for me, that was simply having okay, I'm just gonna say it. It was me having breasts, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's unhealthy. I will 100% agree with that. But I realized I could get breasts without having to have estrogen. How? Eat and eat and eat and eat and eat and eat until I'm like 400, 500 pounds. And yeah, it's unhealthy, but I have breasts.
And you have a fundamental, or you have a foundational health that people who go through transition don't have. When you're fucking with your body that much, at least this is my theory as a layman, as somebody who has studied his own body extensively, because, well, for the first 30 years of my life or so, I didn't really have anybody else to talk to. When you fuck with the foundation of your body that much with hormones, with surgery, whatever you decide to do, when you go to the foundation and start kicking away stones, it's going to ruin everything above the foundation. Whereas with you, son, you've still got the foundation, you've just got a lot of weight on top of it. And
And now
breasts.
that and yeah, and at my age, yes, my unhealthiness is actually medically starting to come back at me. So,
Starting to go all boogie on us. If you turn into boogie, I'm going to have to shoot you. One of
I,
them is
I,
bad enough.
I, so, I'm so sad right now.
Why? What?
Okay, so before Boogie went fucking nuts, and that was years and years ago. I'm not talking about Boogie being nuts now. Years ago, Boogie went nuts the first time. But before that, I was watching his Francis stuff and all that kind of stuff. My mom comes in here and she goes, What is that video of you doing up there?"
Ouch. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. It's skipping.
Oh no.
Oh, there it is. Okay. I heard dead air. There must not be dead air in this interview.
Oh, I can be dead air.
But no, I don't mean in terms of looking like Boogie. I mean in terms of acting as insane as Boogie. You have to,
I don't
you have
I
to
don't
act.
think I'll be that crazy.
You have to act your own specific breed of insanity. You're not allowed to. You're not allowed to bite his style. speaking
Absolutely not.
Speaking of successful YouTubers, you mentioned that I might get a ton of follows and other stuff from you doing this interview. Why? Are you some VTuber that I don't know about or something?
I mean, I am sort of a VTuber of sorts, but you do know about that.
Yeah, you're with Cutie Core.
Yeah. And the moment you post this, I'm sharing it everywhere.
Oh, okay, cool. I wonder if any of them
So
will remember me. Sorry, I'd
maybe.
still really like that Dorf model, but unfortunately I owe like 5,500 now because of Chip's surgery, so I'm not going to be able to afford it anytime soon. I really should have grabbed that when I had the credit down, but Chip is expensive. It is what it is. At least he's lost me all the weight.
That's true.
I'm sure Saria would say that that's a good trade-off.
Yes, you would. She's.
Yeah, I
Good
remember.
Lord,
I remember how
that,
physically minded she is.
that woman is a Marine through and through.
Yeah. And she'd probably laugh at what I consider exercise, but if she knew how bad my lungs were, she'd probably sing a different tune.
Oh no, no. See, here's the thing. She's one of the good gym people. It's like we'll never laugh at you for being at the gym. We'll do nothing but praise you because you are at the gym, no
Yeah,
matter your
one of those people who understands that different people have different limits that they can attempt to push differently.
It's like not one of those
You
YouTube
only lift 25
assholes.
pounds? Psst, what's wrong with you? You know, them fuckers.
No, no, it's not even that. God, I cannot remember that asshole's name. There was some dude who who was making fun of some dude online because he was he was fat. And then the guy started posting pictures of himself being at the gym and working out, like being on the treadmill, all that kind of
Is
stuff.
that that
And
Brentley guy or whatever his name?
the same asshole is then going, look at this asshole at the gym thinking he's going to get skinny. It's like, the fuck, dude?
It's like
He's trying.
he's skinny enough to kick your fucking ass.
Like, he may be trying to lose the weight, but he's still big enough to come over there and lay on you and turn you into a fucking pancake. Shut the hell up.
Do you do any kind of exercise to kind of help your body like maintain itself?
I do, but again, it's not normal exercise.
Well, my
Um,
thinking is to get it keep your body moving before the stiffness comes in, because I don't think you're gonna get arthritis like I've got it, but if I don't do my exercises every single fucking day, it hurts like a motherfucker. So I try to encourage other people to do at least something every day to keep their, to keep the machine from stiffening up and getting sand in the joints.
well, like I have an office desk pedal. You know those little
Oh yeah, yeah,
little
yeah.
bike things that you
I've been
can
wanting
just sit down and
I've been wanting to
yeah.
get one of those.
It's just the little pedals, and you can sit there and bike ride while sitting at the desk.
Depending on the weight
But
distribution, that'd probably help you a lot. I know if I did that, my fucking gut skin would be like a type of weight.
again, Mike Huckabee.
Jesus.
Look, I will never stop harping on the fact that Mike Huckabee was a fat bastard as governor of Arkansas, and the moment he got out of office, dude turned into a fucking raisin.
That's great.
Like he's like, "Oh god, this shit ain't healthy. Let me get healthy."
That's what I'm turning into. Although my stomach is shrinking, all the skin is shrinking, so they're probably not actually going to be able to do the skin surgery because the skin's still there, but it's actually tightening up a bit.
That's what's supposed to happen. You keep working out, and that skin will start to tighten, and some of it will actually tighten simply because you're gaining muscle.
Yeah, with all the sit-ups I'm doing. I'm up to
That's what
120 crunches a day.
I think the biggest thing that Mike had to go into surgery for was his underarms just above the pit.
Oh, the bingo wings?
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't have too much for bingo wings. I got a little, but nothing worth nothing worth getting surgery for.
Mhm.
So, how did you meet your girlfriend?
Um, well, because I'm a furry.
Okay, we know that. I've seen the Kludgy.
Well, no, like that's literally the answer.
We met Derek on Hentai Foundry on the fucking writer's board. I mean, I fucking
It
love that
makes so
story.
much so man, I want to hear that story because I've never heard that, but it
Well,
makes so much sense for
doesn't
him.
it though? No, what ended up happening was we're on Hentai Foundry because of art, and eventually one of us, I can't remember if it was Amber or I, go to the forums and there's this, dude, moderator of the writing forum. He were talking in general about this, that, and the other, just kind of general shit like we do here, but, before Discord was a thing. And we get to talking about games, and he's talking about the games he likes and we like, and we end up, Skyping each other and find out that, we get along really well. And he loaned me some money. I paid him back like I always do immediately because I fucking hate owing money. And
Mhm.
eventually, 7 years after the wife had moved in with me, she can't get a job in California, and Derek goes, "Well, hell, I'll get you a job up here if you move up here." And it's like, "Well, I've got the credit card for it. Let's fucking go." So we move up here. He gets an apartment that we move into, and he's got a job lined up for her. And now she's, up here, she's great for getting a job. Down in California, not so much. But that's pretty much what it boils down to. It just we met and immediately got along, and now he considers me a brother, which I'm actually really honored about. And we met on a fucking porn forum of all places.
Where he's basically and probably seen enough vampire porn to be obsessed with garlic like he is.
No, that's just a genetic thing, I think. I think his blood cries for garlic in the same way my blood cries for salt.
His body cries for Italia, and so he uses garlic.
I was so disappointed at that fucking White House grill. We were told this place was going to be amazing. This place was dog shit. Worst place I've ever eaten in California or Spokane. It was so terrible.
No, no, no. If you're in California, you have to go to what was that place?
In and out?
Gavin Newsom went the French Laundry, I think it was called.
Oh, Christ.
Yeah, yeah. That's where all the elitist people go.
Ugh.
You can't go to a place called the White House Grill.
That's the fucked up part. They had political drink choices on the back, but it was Greek food. It was Greek and Turkish food. And it makes no sense. And the food was oily as hell. We were
No.
told garlic capital of the world. Bullshit.
Okay, okay. Let me just let. Okay, White House Grill. I know you're not listening, but I'm going to tell this. I'm going to give you this tip anyway. Your name is the White House Grill. Do you know what you should be selling? President's favorite dishes.
Right? But no, Greek food of all things. Ugh. So you met your girlfriend. Yeah, I'll get back to my tangent. I'll get back from my tangents. Don't worry, I didn't lose my spot. So, so you met your girlfriend as a furry. How did it go from the online portion of it to you guys meeting up every so often?
Well, see, here's the thing. We knew each other before we knew each other because
Oh,
we were on a furry board, and saw each other in passing. I don't really think we ever interacted with each other. We were kind of in little different cliques at the board, and it was a couple of years after the board was basically killed off that we met through a mutual artist that we liked. And she's like, "Oh, yeah, I remember you from, that website." And it's like, "Wait, what? I I kind of don't remember you at all. What?"
You can't get rid of all the male parts of you, son.
It's true.
Because I don't know a woman
Um,
alive who would forget another person. I don't know. My wife is fucking dropping names left, right, and center about all these fucking past coworkers she knows, and I can't remember any of them.
well, see, I'm a visual learner, and I'm horrible with names and written stuff.
Yeah, names, dates,
But
all that.
you give me a location, you give me street view of Google Maps, and I will get you to where you need to go. I've done it before. And I mean, like, 7-year-old me, mother is lost in downtown Little Rock, Arkansas, and I lead her out of Little Rock.
Nice.
Yeah.
I've finally figured out how Google Maps works. I can finally make it work for me. So I can finally read maps. Yay, that only took almost 40 years.
And we all have our learning curves.
Yep. And when you're a visual learner and you're almost blind, that's a troublesome combination. Like birthdays, I have no fucking clue. I'm horrible with birthdays. It's embarrassing. And then I keep
Well, see,
forgetting to
that's
write them
the
down.
see, that's the okay. So I don't remember if it was the movie Mask or not. I think it was Mask, the one with Cher and the guy that was like the horrible Quasimodo face guy. I think that was the movie Mask or Masks, not
What?
The Mask, not Jim Carrey's The Mask.
Yeah, that was the one that
It's
came to
just
my
a
mind.
no, no, no. So it's just a movie from the '80s called Masks, I think, with Cher like as the mom, and she has this son who's like got this really horrid looking face, but he falls in love with this chick who's blind because she's gorgeous, but she's blind.
Oh, the Rocky Dennis
And
thing. Yeah, yeah.
and she like she's a visual learner as well, but because she's blind, she maps through touch, right?
Yeah.
So she's literally just mapping his face through touch.
Yeah, Family Guy did a bit on that.
Yes, they did. And it was funny and disrespectful at the same time. And
Yeah.
that's Family Guy.
Oh my god, is that a pelvis? It ain't beautiful on the inside, or whatever the fuck it was he said. Oh lordy. So you guys, I got back to it. I remembered. So you guys got
Mhm,
back. You guys got back in touch because of this artist. How did it?
mhm.
How did it go
And
from
so,
that to yeah?
well, then I found out she was just a raging nymphomaniac. And I'm like, damn. I wish I could participate.
Well,
I
you
mean, don't
kind
get
of.
me. I mean, I do. That's where a lot of that's where being in the furry community is such a strong positive
They
for our
will find a
relationship.
goddamn way.
It's not even that we'll find a way. Like the biggest thing in the furry community is erotic role play.
Oh, there you go.
And so she can get out her frustrations and even though so here's the big deal. I I can get horny like anybody else. I just don't have the drive for sex, you know? And
See,
that's
and people say that transgender people can't be like the opposite sex. There's a fundamental problem with that. See, Sun has the sex drive of a female. Ha 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 ha. That'd be a lot less fun, or that'd be a lot more funny if my wife didn't also have the sex drive of a female.
well, I mean, she is your wife, so
Yeah. God love her. At least she puts up with me.
you mean she puts into who you
No,
she puts
I put into her sometimes, rarely, but I can do it now. That's the important thing. I couldn't before. Now I can. Progress and
No,
shit.
no. You put into her, but she puts into you. Food.
That's true. Oh god, she made this thing. It's the dumbest shit ever. She makes quesadillas. She made me a Mexican pizza. Two fucking burritos with a bunch of cheese and salsa and tomatoes and tons of vegetables and a little bit of chicken. Kind
Mm-hmm.
of healthy, but not really. It is the best thing she has ever made me. And she's made actual complicated dishes. She makes me birthday lasagna. It's fucking phenomenal. She's made me apple pies that are absolutely out of this world. But that fucking goddamn Mexican pizza is my favorite thing she makes because it doesn't take a year and a half to make. It's just a simple throw it together thing. But it's actually beaten out her
It's
tacos.
it's not that it's simple or anything like that. You know what it is? It's that it's comfort food.
Yeah, made by
Even
made by
with
somebody who brings me comfort most times.
even with all the vegetables and stuff in there, it's still comfort food.
Oh no, I like vegetables. I love vegetables as much as I love crap food. I love all food
See, this is why we're friends.
because we both love all food. Sometimes a bit much.
Look, I'm the person who can eat an entire buffet dish of salad. And I'm not talking about all that lettuce shit. No, 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 no. A salad needs to start with a spinach base.
Well,
It's a much more not even calorically dense. It is much more nutritiously dense green to eat with.
yeah, it's more healthful.
But here's
But
the problem. I can eat that entire pan, but I'm going to be going to the bathroom for the next 12 hours repainting it.
that's an image. But the thing of it is I used to be able to eat an unchristly amount of food. Like we had this local pizza joint in California, Mountain Mike's. Their biggest pizza was 21 inches. I ate it in a day. And I can do the same with healthy food because I like all food. Now I can't, which I'm actually really happy about, but also a little sad about because I can't do the gorge anymore to get my dopamine fix. But at the same time, I'm really happy that I can't do it anymore. It's really conflicting.
Yeah, it's a conflict of where you are to where you need at the time.
Where I was, yeah. I still need
No, 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 no,
dopamine.
not where you no, not where you were, where you need to be.
Oh,
See,
yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
you're you're working your body to where you need to be, but where you are right now is still craving that stuff behind you.
The weird thing is I don't crave it anymore. Or rather, I do, but it's not right. Like today, I had Derek put in my AC, so I gave him a 20 and said, "Hey, get us some pizza." And he's like, "Okay, I'll get you your pizza and all this." So I get a chicken, bacon, artichoke, and spinach pizza on garlic sauce because
You West Coasters, good God, putting strange shit like artichoke on a fucking pizza.
I've never had artichoke before. That shit was delicious.
Artichoke is delicious, but why are you putting it on a pizza?
I wanted a chicken bacon ranch, and the coupon that he had was for that pizza. So I was like, okay.
Okay.
And it was
Okay.
really good. It was a large, and I couldn't finish it. I had to put the last piece in the fridge for tomorrow. And the pieces I cut were quarters because I couldn't be asked to cut it another 2 times because I'm lazy.
By the way, this is for all the people who want to settle the discussion. You can unfollow me right now. I enjoy pineapple on pizza.
I do too. The only person who doesn't in this house is Derek. Brandon got a medium Hawaiian today for his pizza, and the wife will put double pepperoni, double pineapple on her pizzas, and I will eat
Hmm.
anything on my pizzas. The more shit on my pizzas, the better, because this is weird. I deconstruct burgers, and sometimes I'll deconstruct pizzas, but other times I won't. Either I have to deconstruct it and get all the textures one at a time, or I have to dump it all into a bowl and make a failure pile and a sadness bowl. Thank you, Patton Oswalt, for giving me the name. It's the one good thing he actually gave us before he fucking went off the deep end was the failure pile and the sadness bowl.
I,
And
I'll say this. I'm like you. My favorite kind of pizza is a super supreme. Give me all the fucking vegetables, please. Thank you.
I want you
In
to
fact,
I want you to
in
double
fact,
crust that motherfucker so that you can dump more shit on it without it losing its structural integrity. I
if you
want it to
can,
be a bowl.
if you can give me all the ingredients from the salad bar, And before you do anything to that pizza, use ranch as a sauce base instead of pizza sauce, and then give me everything on the fucking salad bar. Put it through the oven, top it with cheese, put it through the oven, and then put your shredded lettuce and some more shredded cheese on top of it. I'll eat your salad pizza.
Yeah. There was a vegetarian pizza that I had to have one time from, I think it was a coupon thing. And, I mean, it's good. It just needed meat. Even chicken, you know. But my guts are weird. If I don't have meat in 30-ish hours, I get riotously sick. For whatever reason, my stomach acids need meat. Beef is best, but it'll take anything.
And see, I'm when it comes to like pizzas and stuff like that, I can't. I feel like the odd person out because I can't stand pepperoni.
No, I can't stand it either. It's way too fucking greasy.
It's not even that it's greasy. It's just that the whatever it is that they use, the however they prepare it for smoking, like it does stuff to my guts.
I like salami on pizza instead of pepperoni. It is less greasy and it gives me the same kind of feeling. But like if I'm gonna put a meat on it like that, it'll be ham.
Yeah, I typically get chicken for pizza topping.
Yeah, I've really gone into chicken for pizza toppings lately. For whatever reason. Holy shit, time is really flying by already.
Mhm.
Good. Good.
Talked
There's much to
about
discuss.
Talked about Mike Huckabee and pizza
And your girlfriend?
and the trans community.
Yeah. Have you guys have you and your girlfriend how often do you guys get together nowadays?
It's been a lot less recently, mostly because of like all the COVID stuff.
Ugh.
But yeah, I mean, it's Discord, so we're like almost always in constant communication.
Well, that's good at least. You're keeping the lines of communication going.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry, son. Someday she'll come back and use you as a chair. I don't even know. See, I don't even know if that's an accurate portrayal of your guys' sex life. I just know that you're big, and the visual of this little girl sitting on you like a chair, not even in a sexual way, just in a chair way, makes me laugh. Just you with your arms, just burp, hug.
The funny thing is, she probably would.
See, there you go. I am here to help, damn it. Oh boy.
Wow. Next topic.
Yes, next topic. So, damn, there's so many. I'm trying to divvy them out in my head to see where I want to go, how
You're
deep I want to
sorting
go.
the post-it notes in your head.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the ones that have legible text in them. It's been a while.
You've been writing doctor's notes for a couple of years.
Oh god, yeah, my signature's been doctor's writing forever. So, what
That's
if
why I don't write in cursive. I actually print my name.
Oh, I caught so much shit for not writing in cursive. I fucking hate writing in cursive. The only way I do it is my name. Everything else, no cursive. Fuck that shit.
See, that's what I mean. Living on those like liberal East Coast, West Coast cities, they expect that shit out of you, and it's like, this is the South.
You're lucky we can write.
We're rednecks. What works works. That's why everything is stuck together with duct tape.
Yep. Duct tape, twine, and baling wire. So
We're the original MacGyver.
There you go. The fact that MacGyver didn't have a southern accent is a fucking crime against nature.
Nobody did have a mullet.
Ah, there you go. He had to represent somehow. So you don't work, you're on disability, aren't you?
I'm not on disability, but I do not work, no.
How do you sustain?
Well, I live with my mother and I mostly do the housework, which is why I talked about having to like cook today. I mostly do housework, and she's actually a floor nurse at a nursing home.
I'm kind of surprised you're not on disability. You just didn't want to go through all the bullshit that I went through?
Went through the bullshit. Judge denied several times.
Lame.
That's the that's the issue with disability in the South.
You have to
Uh,
actually be disabled.
well, even if you are disabled, it's there is this is one of the other Southern stereotypes, and it's another one of the true stereotypes. The idea of you can still work, get out there and do it, you lazy bastard.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Well, not to sound mean, but I mean, if you do get the Sugarfoot,
I mean, look, when there are stories of rednecks, this is before Dylan, y'all. So when there are stories of rednecks drinking Bud Light, getting into a hunting accident by themselves, and like breaking their legs and shit, and then by themselves hopping back to their trucks with their rifle and the deer that they killed along the way,
oh, of course,
and
they have to
then,
have killed the son of a bitch and deer.
and then going to the hospital. Yeah, you kind of get this, this stereotype forms of you're just being lazy. Get out there and do it.
What are you gonna What are you gonna do about that? I mean, you got to get
Well,
money eventually.
that's what turning to streaming was for. Like the biggest thing I was waiting for years was to get a brand new computer. Computer I had before this one was well over 8 years old at that point,
Yeah, I remember that poor
and
thing.
thing is ancient, right? But I get this one, and the first thing I do is start streaming.
Have you been making gains on that?
Lately, yes.
Nice.
But it's still slow going at first.
Well, I mean,
But
you're making more than I would. I did. What did I get? Like 2 payouts a year?
well, and that's the thing. You reach your first 100, and they pay out instantly. Like you have to wait until Twitch will give you your first 100 as a payout. Then Twitch will pay you out it seemingly pays out every 6 months. No matter what is in the account. It pays out every 6 months.
No, for the way it did it for me was it waited until $100 threshold. Once you made $100, then anything else after that they would pay out at the month. It was always a monthly
Well,
thing.
well, see, that's not been the way it's been for me from Twitch. It's
Huh?
been
You must have changed it.
yeah, yeah. It did take over a year and a half to get my first payout though, but yeah. My
Is
second payout came about 6 months later and it was like $60.
nice.
But
Has Cutie Core been helping with that?
not really because Saria's been having to work on her own stuff, like get her own stuff straightened out.
It seems
Like this like right now as we're talking, Sari is actually finally moving back into her own house because of shit that went on.
good lord, what happened? Last I heard from her, she
Um
was doing a fucking model update.
well, she's been doing all that stuff from a secondary location.
Huh.
Um she was in an she had an apartment. She was living in an apartment and I guess the dumbasses upstairs left the water running.
Oh no.
And so it like just I keep wanting to say waterboarded because it's literally like the description of what happened.
Well, she is a
Like
marine.
all the walls started like wilting and buckling because of all this water damage.
Oh
And so
no.
she had to move out and she's only now finally being able to move back in. So that meant all of her throne stuff was disabled, all of her treat stream stuff was disabled, like a whole bunch of the you can send me stuff was disabled. And there's no way in hell she's going to put a whole bunch of stuff together to create a streaming group when she's not even in her own house.
Yeah, that makes sense. Shit, I hope she gets it sorted. I
Well,
liked
she's
her. She
got it.
seemed
She's got it sorted. She's moving back in this weekend, so
oh, okay. That's good. I liked her. I wish I could have done more, but I'm kind of limited in terms of my technical know-how or lack thereof.
everybody is. And like as fun as Sari is streaming, like, she's still an extremely private person, so I
Oh
don't
yeah, she
begrudge her.
holds her
Yeah.
cards really close to the chest. It's
And
actually really, it's
it's a
a
big chest.
yeah, it's really impressive how well she can hold her cards to the chest. And I'm curious if that was Marine training or if she's just naturally that private a person.
I think it's a little bit of both.
Well, it's really impressive from somebody who's watched people do that, and I've never seen it done as well as her. Because usually I
Yeah,
can read
they're
people. You've seen me do it. I could not
mhm.
read a fucking thing from her. And I mean, that is legitimately impressive. I just,
Oh, and a lot of it is well, and like you said, a lot of that is military training too. That's the compartmentalization aspect that you go through in military training.
yeah, and I've got that too. I don't know how I got it, but I got it. Probably from jail.
That's what I was about to say.
So many lessons
Yeah.
that I probably shouldn't have had to learn, but hey, it's a crazy old world out there. Oh, lordy.
Yeah.
So, what
Are
have
we gonna
you.
talk about politics next?
Oh, we can. We totally can. Let's
I
see
expected
what's
that
been
first
going
off.
on in the Paul board.
Oh
Uh,
Lord.
scroll, 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 scroll.
I actually thought about joining Twitter,
Oh God,
believe it or not.
don't do that.
And yeah, that's been my stance for the longest fucking time. Is no, I don't want to join Twitter. I'm thinking about joining Twitter.
I don't care how many fucking. I don't care how many game keys I lose. I'm not going back to Twitter. I would rather save my sanity.
It's not even about that. Like it's not even about stream advertisement or any of all that other stuff that people tell you need to do for getting big. I want to be on Twitter simply because I am fucking tired of these crazy ass people being the voice of the trans community, quote unquote.
That's what we ought to talk about.
Well, it is politics. I
Yeah.
mean, it's culture too, but
Oh, I
like,
mean, I was gonna bring up the fucking Crowder thing just so we can laugh at him, but I mean, hey, this is way more juicy in terms of this will make you some friends.
and some enemies. Hi, Keffels. Bye, Keffels.
That's great. Just remember, if you're canceled, that means somebody cared enough about you to try and cancel you.
It's true.
I know. That's the thing. And I mean, we've talked about this privately. There is nobody that hates the transgender movement more than Sun, who is a legitimate transgender person. There is nobody who hates fucking crippled clout chasers who claim to be advocates more than me because I'm an actual advocate. You will never
Oh
find
my
anybody
god.
who hates the fucking.
Fucking trans ableist community.
Oh
Oh
Jesus,
my
that
god.
fucking pisses me off so much. Ever since I saw that fucking story about that woman who made her doctor blinded her with bleach in the UK. Oh, I hate BIID and I hate that trans ableism even might become trendy. It won't because it's too niche. And the New York Post, the
Bruh.
people who posted it were, I mean, they are who they are. They're a grain of
How
salt.
many how many liberals will have to literally apologize to Rachel Dolezal if transracial literally becomes a thing?
Rachel Dolezal. I love that I learned about her before we moved up here. And I love
It's
that
like
she wasn't even partially black. She was white, white. She was my level of white. She was burst into flames in the sun white. That's
she was
fucking
Celt-
white.
she was Celtic Irish white.
Yep. That is the whitest of the white. That is phosphorescent white.
Bitch, y'all just mad because she was ahead of the game on y'all. She
Lord.
was literally she was literally the head of an NAACP chapter.
That's the thing I hate about society is, and I mean, this is not a new thing by any fucking means. The fact that I have these morals and these ethics and this integrity, and I'm almost positive it is completely fucking me over in terms of actually being successful because I don't want to stab anybody in the back. I don't want to sacrifice who I am as a person to get, more gains. I just want to
Mm-hmm.
do my job my way as effectively as I can. And somehow that is seen as a bad thing.
Of course it is. Remember, to a bunch of the habitually online, rugged individualism is whiteness.
No, it's not. I know black people who are rugged individualists.
Yes, yes, but they're whiteness by proxy.
No, no, they were pretty fucking black. They spoke with Ebonics. They were almost blue. They were very, very black.
So there was
Did you just say I'd?
uh,
Tell me that was a
don't know.
southern thing and not a black thing, because I don't want to get in trouble for that.
I don't know. I'm tripping over words at this point.
Son, get the watermelon out of your mouth and start talking normally, please.
I hate watermelon.
Really? How can you
Yes.
hate something so wonderful?
I can't stand watermelon.
That always bugged the shit out of me. The whole black people like watermelon, black people like grape drink, black people like chicken. I like watermelon, grape drink, and fucking chicken because it's good.
Well, that's why black people like it.
Yes, they're smart. They understand what good food is.
Look, if you want to stereotype black people, they like collard greens, chicken gizzards, and livers.
So they're from the South.
Historically, yes.
Yeah. That's not a racist thing. That's a geographic thing. That is a cultural thing.
Although the history's a little bit muddy. Oh,
Wow.
I shouldn't use that term.
Ah! I think Thomas Jefferson would approve of that term. Historical jokes.
Wow.
I got them. Oh, God in heaven. But yeah, we could talk about the transgender thing. Let's talk about transgender kids, otherwise known as kids being kids and adults being terrible.
Well, I spend a lot of time watching all this stuff, and people talk about how it could be Munchausen by proxy or some of this other stuff.
I think it's either
And
parents being bad, doctors being bad, or kids just not knowing what they want and parents being stupid.
I think it's a bunch of parents who are lost in the shift of the Overton window.
Do you think it is mostly doctors saying, "Do you want a live daughter or a dead son"?
Right now, yes.
Because I think it's parents chasing clout, or parents just not knowing because there's so much bullshit out there about how. I mean, it's not even the doctors. I think it's just everybody saying, dead kids, dead kids, dead kids, dead kids over and over again, and they're scared shitless. Because I know for a fact that when I was a kid, the disabled kid thing, the sheltered disabled kid thing, it was my parents did make bad decisions, but they made them in good faith. They thought they were doing the right thing. And I think a lot of cases, it's these parents are either trying to do the right thing or they're just chasing clout. And you can really tell the clout chasers. Boy, can you tell the clout
Yes,
chasers.
you
Those
can always-
Those
can always
Karens
tell
shine like a beacon.
Right. You can tell the clout chasers, but you can also tell who the seriously concerned about my child parents are too, because of how many of them are now at teacher or school board meetings,
Yeah, the
screaming at the
Chloe
school board.
the Chloe Cole thing. They thought that they were doing right by her. They didn't do it, maliciously.
And again, that is the issue of the doctors, which I the moment gender dysphoria was removed from the
DSMV or whatever it's called.
the DSM-5, I think it was.
That's what it was. Yeah, DSM-5. Yeah. Wait, it was
Um,
removed?
Yes, it was.
But it's a mental
And I-
disorder.
That's and the trans community has been arguing and rallying that it's not.
Oh God, it's the autism thing all over again.
And
Do you remember in the fucking
I-
aughts and teens when the fucking autists were like, "We don't have a disability, we don't have a disease, we have what makes us unique"? Shut up. No, you don't. Fuck off.
we have what makes us unique. Yes, and the vaccines are causing it too, right?
Yeah, right. disabilities and other maladies are not something that makes you unique. They are challenges to overcome. It is as simple as that. Sun overcame her challenge by gaining an ungodly amount of weight. I overcome my challenges by hate fucking them into oblivion. It's just what you do.
Or pounding the dirt.
Yeah, right? Oh, my shoes look so fucked up. I actually looked at the bottoms. They're like a week or two away of just completely disintegrating. I walk shoes to death. Them New Balance things didn't last for shit.
But yeah, no, I said when it was removed from the DSM-5, I said, "Oh no, no, no. You guys, you don't know, you don't realize what you're doing. You doing this." And I completely admit I was 100% wrong because even I couldn't have thought that like capitalistic greed would take this much hold.
You didn't think the
Um,
slope was going to cliff quite as bad as it did.
well, no, I didn't think it was going to cliff in the way it did. But I said, you don't realize what you're doing here. The moment you do this, every insurance company in the country is going to go, all right, this is a cosmetic surgery, not approved. Boop. That's
Yep.
what I thought was going to happen. That would have been the most logical thing to happen. Do you know what happened? The entirety of the medical industry made an about face and said, we can have patients for life. Hooray! Push harder! Push harder! That's what
Mm,
fucking happened.
that actually hurts me because you're so fucking right. I bet when I go to ask my doctor if I have autism or complex PTSD and I finally get sent to a therapist, they will definitely tell me that I have one of the two things, if not both. Because they'll try to keep me in their practice.
Exactly.
And I just remember all the fucking times that they took me to psychiatrists and psychologists when I was a kid to drug me up with medication, and it's just the same shit in a different form. But this is so much worse than psych meds because it's hormone therapy and invasive surgery. Did you see the video that Short Fat Otaku did about if there was a pill to fix gender dysphoria,
Yeah,
the
I saw that
surgeries would
video.
be barbaric? And yeah. And I agree with him. You shouldn't want to do that to your body. My original premise, the whole fucking reason I had an issue with trans people in the beginning, turned out to be right in the first place. I was actually right. Doing that to a healthy body doesn't make sense.
I mean,
Now, I took it a
this is
little too
this.
far by, not liking the people who did it when, I mean, it's their body, they can do what they want. I shouldn't be giving a shit about that, and that's very true. But still, my original premise of don't fuck up your normal body, when there's people out here like me who are, actually physically disabled, or people like Sun who are, looked at the risks and went, no, I'll just gain some weight, and some more, and some more.
It's true.
I mean, I can't believe I was right on that. I thought that
See,
was my hateful moment. One of many.
that's the but that's the thing though. The this is why I'm still left, even though I hold a lot of what would be considered right-leaning values at
I,
this point.
I find it funny that you're
It's
more right
because
leaning than I am.
it's because of this. What's going on in the push for transition of everybody is not only actually erasing the LGB community, and it is a capitalistic following of Muslim doctrine. I shit you not. It's better to
Where are
have
the
a
tomboys lately? Where are the butch lesbians lately? There's Ariel Scarcella, and that's about it.
well, an area Scarcella is dogged for leading gays against groomers. So
Ariel Scarcella is bizarre looking. She looks like she
yeah,
always has a mustache. And I can't place why. Maybe it's just my crappy
probably
eyes.
probably because she does.
Oh, that's not just my crappy eyes? Okay.
No, no, no. I mean, probably because she does. Women do have facial hair too. It's a
Well,
lot thinner than
I,
men, but
I know she's Italian, so
if it's if it's the right shade, if it's the right shade of hair, it will be noticeable no matter how fine it is.
maybe it's because of the lighting. I don't know. But yeah, I'd noticed that there are no. I mean, I know femboys aren't allowed to be existing anymore. They have to be trans, and fucking tomboys aren't allowed to. No, that just means you're a trans man. It's like, no, there's a fucking difference. And then
And people wonder,
you remember that fucking thread on the blind forum where that one lunatic was like,
yeah.
"Oh, that was so funny."
And people wonder why I side with the turf feminists, the turf lesbians. It's because they're legitimately losing new lesbians to you're a man.
It's like I hate this because there is a big difference between I want to do man things in manly ways and I want to have a penis. Or, vice versa. I'm more feminine than masculine, so I'm going to, cross dress and do girly things and tea and decorations and baking and shit to chop my penis off and turn it into a vagina. And that fucking surgery, whoa, that's a nightmare.
Well, see, that is the cultural shift from the '90s left to today's left.
Oh yeah, the
That's the
'90s left. You were
that's
totally, yeah, it was totally
that's
individualist.
that's the shift in the Overton window or the Overton window. I can never say it right.
Yeah.
That's the shift. That's the shift. That's what they call the lurch left.
Yeah, and it did lurch.
Because in the '90s it was a you can be a dude and do all these things, you can be a girl and do all these things. We don't have labels anymore. You are you, do what you do.
Oh god, it went a complete 180. There's nothing but fucking labels now. And none of them are in braille, so I can't see them.
Exactly. Exactly. What's
Because,
more authoritarian than a bunch of fucking labels?
right? Ugh. And I use them too, but I use them as shorthand. Because I can't get away from not using them, and it pisses me off.
So I have a question for you.
Shoot.
For a bunch of people who are so obsessed with labels, why are they so interested in removing them from gender?
What do you mean, like tomboys, femboys, that type of thing?
No, no. What I mean is we've always had male, female, and medical anomaly.
Yeah, that. Those are the 2.5 genders.
Right. We've always had this. Why are people so interested in saying that sex shouldn't exist? Not that genders shouldn't exist, but that sexes shouldn't exist because apparently genders aren't sex.
That still confuses me. I've had it explained to me a few times, and I still don't fucking understand it.
I don't think I will ever understand it because like the reason we use the term gender is because it's the Germanic form of the word sex.
And my whole thing is the thing that scares me that I've never really spoken about very much because it just hasn't come up in conversation. But fuck it, I'll bring it up here. I don't mind. Is we're weakening as a worldwide culture, except in very specific, very repressed cultures, like your Muslim cultures, your Chinese cultures, your North Korean cultures, the big controlling cultures. But otherwise, our men are becoming pussies, our women are becoming pussies, our medical anomalies are still medical anomalies, so they're kind of weak by proxy just due to the fact that they've got so much going on. We're gonna get invaded one of these fucking days, and we're not gonna have anybody to fight the good fight. And I don't mean
Hey,
we
now
as
we know
in
how the Romans felt.
I don't. Yeah, I was noticing those parallels too. Fucking Romans. I don't mean us as in the United States. I mean us as in all these countries. Because it's happening in the UK, it's happening in Mexico, it's happening in fucking Brazil, it's happening in Thailand. Boy, it really happened in Thailand. It's happening in Germany, it's happening everywhere. I mean, what's going to stop Russia from going after us? What's going to stop China? What's going to stop, North Korea? And, well, North Korea stops us. The thing's going to stop North Korea is the fact that North Korea can't hit us with their rocks. But the cultural decline is going so quickly. And I mean, you've heard me say this before. 40, 50 years, something big is going to pop off. I don't know what, but it's going to happen. Something is going to change fundamentally how we interact with each other as a culture. There's going to be a big bad thing that makes 9/11 look like nothing. And we're not going to be able to fight with it. I don't think we're going to be able to fight with it because we've become so weak as a culture. Like even us, you and me. I mean, we say we're outside of the culture, but I mean, it seeps in, it creeps. How many? I mean, when is the last time you've used the word fag to describe somebody who's being a wussy? You don't use fag anymore. Nobody does. Even I don't, and I don't have any reason why I not. I just kind of fell out of parlance.
See, so here's the funny thing. I never did. I never did. You know why? Because queer is such a better word.
I've always liked queer. That's queer. It has an upper crust
definition. It has such a more definitionistic like quality to it. Like when you say somebody or something is queer, all you're saying is that's odd.
Yes,
They're
exactly.
Odd. It's like yeah, that's odd. That's
I always say it like that. That's queer. Because it is, and I can't remember where I heard it from. It was a comedian that said it like that, and it's like, yeah, I'm stealing that. That's funny.
No, you know what? I apologize. I take it back. I have used that term, but not in the way you think. Because I love going around and sharing a picture of UK's brains faggots. Those little sausage balls.
Yeah.
I love posting it to people who get upset and then go, what the fuck is this? And I go, it's food from the UK.
Yeah. Aren't you cultured? Speaking of cultured, that fucking conversation with Tanish, that was so good. That was so fascinating. You got to listen to that at some point. Just hearing how different and yet how similar the Indian culture is to ours is just fascinating.
Yeah. I'll see, and that's kind of the way I stream and act the way I do. It's because I'm fully willing to sit there and listen. I'll have like if we're gonna have a debate and stuff like that, we'll have a debate and have a conversation on that. But I just want to sit and listen to other people.
And that's the whole reason I started doing these interviews. Like I said, I told all my fucking stories. I'm sick of those damn things, but I like talking to other people. But the whole fucking reason I started streaming because I like shooting shit with people. That's why I'm always so happy when you show up on my streams.
Yeah, I show up and then I start needling.
How do you needle? You don't needle me, or at least not in the way that it's not like it's bugging me.
I don't needle in the fact that I'm trying to bug you. I needle in the fact that I'm trying to see what I can get away with on Twitch as a chatter.
Well, I turned off all the censorship crap. I don't give a shit.
No. What I mean is stuff that you won't get banned for that I talk about as a chatter.
Oh, speaking of getting banned, I should tell you this funny story that will almost certainly get me banned if anybody ever cares to listen to this fucking thing. I kind of hope they do.
Wow.
Okay, so when I was a kid, when I was 2 years old, I get into preschool. I get into blind preschool, meet a blind friend named Justin. I've told this part of the story before. His dad is our dentist. His mom is a lawyer. He's exceptionally rich. Doesn't have any eyes. Kind of slow upstairs, but we didn't know that at the time. And when we are 8, he finds out that I'm white. He stops hanging out with me. And for 2 years, nothing. And then 2 years later, he comes back and says, hey, sorry, my mom is a racist. And, you apologize, water under the bridge. Cool. After I get out of jail, years later, I find his phone number. Joe gave it to me. Or maybe I was at Joe's and I remembered it out of the blue. Just poof. Somehow I remembered that phone number. And I called it and he picked up and we rekindled our friendship. And then after I got out of jail, I remembered the number again. Called up and, rekindled our friendship. And one day I'm at home. My brother hands me the phone. Ryan, it's Justin. Cool. I'm gonna fuck with him. Sup, nigga? This is your P.O. Oh, shit. I about shit my pants. I was so fucking scared because this was just after I got out. I was so scared I was going to go right back into jail. And My PO, God bless him, he could not keep a straight face. He gave me the stern, this is your PO, and then he immediately busted out laughing, and we had a good relationship ever since then, because I told him, hey, blind friend, known him since we were 2, thought I'd fuck with him a little, didn't know it was you, fucking brother fucking with me, and, had a good laugh about it. But, yep, that's my big bad story. That's a story that's going to get me canceled, but I needed to tell that story because I've never told it before, and I totally forgot about telling it until just now.
Well, I hold no malice against you for sharing it, sweetie.
And I didn't use the hard R. I used the A.
Yeah.
As one does with friends.
That is the clever evolution of language, by the way.
Yeah.
If when the left talks about how the black community reclaimed that word, well, yeah,
Oh, for Christ's sake.
Changed it. It's because they changed it.
They took away the R and added an A.
And then Snoop Dogg changes it again, and yet the southern lady from Georgia still gets fired.
Is he still a lion, or did he come back to a dog? You want to talk about trans something or other? That's Snoop.
I have no clue.
I love that I almost bricked you with that one.
See, I don't follow Snoop Dogg. All I know of Snoop Dogg is dude got less time than Martha Stewart.
The only thing I know about Snoop Dogg is originally he was Snoop Dogg, then he became Snoop Lion, and now he's Snoop Dogg again. So he's trans species?
I mean, I'm a furry, so
well, there you go.
I can't hold that against him.
There has to be furry porn of Snoop Dogg Lion.
I'm sure there is. I'm sure. Look,
and that makes my head hurt a little bit.
No. I'll really make your head hurt. Okay, think about this. There's probably porn of Snoop Dogg and Triumph, the insult comic dog.
Is Conan in the background?
Possibly.
Oh God!
He's probably naked, dancing on a pole in the background, going "Vroom vroom, party starter."
Yeah, that's Conan for you. Jesus Christ! But yeah, it's I love the word niggardly because, well, I mean, why the fuck do you think I love the word? But more than that, I actually love the meaning of the word. I love calling people niggardly because there's always that double take.
So, give us the dictionary definition of that word.
The definition of niggardly is somebody who is spendthrift to the extreme. Somebody who is very miserly with their money. Extreme, like more than Jews. And I'm half Jew, and I'm extremely miserly with my money. But that's not because I'm half Jewish. It's because I'm very, 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 very poor.
One of those TLC channels did a series like this recently, and had a couple of people like that on it, and I mean, dude reuses fucking paper towels.
Oh,
Literally
those people! Oh, Jesus!
Hangs them up like laundry to dry and reuses paper towels.
I'm not that spendthrift. Holy Christ, that's impressive. Oh, what is it called? I've seen it on YouTube. They do clips and shit. Oh, it's not Hoarders. That's something else. Oh, fuck. I've seen it the last week and a half. It's cluttering up my YouTube, and I'm not going to watch it.
Well, then don't go looking for it.
I don't. I tell them, don't recommend this.
But, yeah, no, it's like, Jesus. There's some...
Remember when TLC used to be about learning?
Oh, well, now we are learning.
Yeah, we're learning about shit we don't want.
About the other crazy people in the world.
At least we're not learning about Honey Boo Boo no mo.
Oh, God. You want to talk about Munchausen by proxy? The fucking parents who are pageantites for their kids.
Oh, God! Pageant parents freak me out. Not
fucking
very much.
JonBenet Ramsey's parents, for Christ fucking sake.
Fred and Rosemary West don't creep me out as much as pageant parents do. And if you don't know who Fred and Rosemary West are, Google them. I dare you. Actually, Rob Dyke, or whatever his new name is, did a really good write-up on them on YouTube. Fuck, what is
Yeah,
his
I'll
new
check
name?
that out.
He's got a really good voice. I love Rob Dyke's voice. What is his new name? That's gonna bug the shit out of me now.
Well, Google exists.
Rob Gavigan. Gavagan.
Okay.
And yeah, his voice is really good. He's like a dark version of Wendigoon. He's just really soothing to listen to.
Fair enough. But yeah, no, like this is this is the it's like when someone tries to throw the argument at me. So, oh, so you don't like so parents who try to trans their kids aren't okay, but pageant parents are. I'm like, when
No,
did I fucking say that? And no,
living
that
vicariously
shit's
through your kids is
that
bad.
shit's just as exploitative.
Yeah, that's literally what you're doing. You are exploiting your kids.
Like the the one thing I give credit to Tim Burton is that he nailed the he nailed what modernization should be for something like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
I haven't seen
You
it.
had the new version of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory with Johnny Depp
Yeah, not a
has a
big.
has a new assortment of parents with the kids.
Yeah,
And so with Violet Beauregard, you have that as a mother. You have that pageant parent as a mother, but it's sports. So it's the sports pageant mother.
oh Lord.
And it's like, yeah, that's a thing in our culture right now. Mike TV's mother is actually replaced by his father, who's the teacher, but he looks like one of those. I mean, he's a balding, got glasses, weak looking, everything that a weak professor is supposed to look like, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, yeah, but somehow he made the Germans even more German, which is weird. It's like, how could you make the Germans even more stereotypically German when in the fucking Gene Wilder movie they literally ate the knob off a fucking microphone?
That's the joke. Oh God. Tim Burton is weird. I mean, I know that's not exactly a hot take, but
Welcome to his world.
I wish he I wish he had gotten to do better with Wednesday. It was a
At
good
least,
it was a good Netflix show, but it could have been so much better.
at least he's not Quentin Fiorentino.
I have a foot fetish. I've been honest about that. Quentin Tarantino's a weirdo. We're not all like him. We don't all like those camera angles that he does. They're creepy. And he needs
The
to
dude
stop.
is the dude is such a voyeur about his foot fetish that he literally wrote a thing where this one of the ladies was supposed to be like a dominatrix and spill like champagne down her leg and down her foot, and that some dude was supposed to be sucking it off of her toes and then put himself in that fucking role. Literally put himself in that role.
God damn it.
Like he is actually that's actually him doing that in the movie, and it's like Jesus Christ, what the fuck,
I
dude?
thought Kill Bill 1 was bad with the wiggle your big toe scene. Oh, I fucking have to fast forward through it every time. It creeps me out.
And this is in every Tarantino movie.
That's why I
It's
can't
even in
watch his
Pulp
work.
Fiction.
I cannot watch his work because of that shit. It just creeps me out way too much. Actually, getting back to the pageant shows, my favorite movie of all time is Little Miss Sunshine. I fucking love that movie. It's not the
Yeah.
best in terms of like individual scenes, but as a whole, I think it really comes together well.
Yeah.
And what was that other
Speaking
thing?
of speaking of exploiting children,
Oh yes, let's just let with our childless backgrounds get into exploiting children.
how does how does one rank cuties?
As an atrocity akin to the war crimes committed by the Nazis in 1939? I cannot
Thank you.
believe I didn't stutter on that one. Stuttered after it, but I didn't stutter when I said it. I'm so proud of myself.
Thank you. That was the correct answer.
Yes.
You win a cookie.
Yay! Actually, the wife got me a carrot cupcake for tomorrow morning. So I
All
get a carrot.
right.
I get a carrot cupcake. I get a quarter of a pizza, and I get a half a bowl of spaghetti, which is like spaghetti, except it's just spaghetti. Derek has this weird thing he does. Fucking, I say I want spaghetti. What I mean is I want noodles in tomato sauce. I don't care what noodles they are. Derek, not that way. Spaghetti to him means spaghetti. Fuck you. That's it. Spaghetti noodles. Big long noodles. Nothing else will work. I don't know what he calls my concoctions.
I have a recommendation.
Hmm.
Eat the cupcake first, because having carrot top last is always a disappointment.
Ah! Yeah, Carrot Top's definitely a good opener and better than a closer. Oh, Jesus.
God, I'm so old. I have to teach people who Carrot Top are. Carrot Top is, and Polly Shore.
Oh, Jesus.
I have to teach people who Polly Shore is.
I have to teach people who Don Rickles is. I'm older than you.
Well, see, here's the thing. I don't tend to lean into because I would go. Most of the people I run with know who Gallagher is,
Oh, God,
so
there's a blast from the past.
I don't have to teach people who Gallagher is. Most of them inherently know, and the people who don't, other people post for me, so I don't have to teach anybody.
And then there's
But yeah,
Dankula covering fucking Buster Keaton.
Buster Keaton is nuts. I know
Yeah.
I haven't seen Dankula's video on Buster Keaton.
Oh,
Buster
you
Keaton
got
was
to.
Buster Keaton was just fucking nuts.
Dank hits
Oh
all the
my
good
god.
ones. He hits everything. It's a long video. It's so worth it.
Those films should exist as the shining example of Hollywood, like, technical wizardry
Right?
for the shit that Buster Keaton was able to pull off in those movies. And with real shit, as in, dude could have fucking died.
Oh, he got
Like,
injured.
tried. Oh, I'm not. I have no doubts that he got injured, but like trying to beat a train across railroad tracks, dude.
Oh,
We're not talking about.
the fucking house thing. I mean, that thing is so iconic.
Wait, which one? The falling face
Yeah,
or
the
the
falling
spinning
face.
house? Okay, yeah. The falling face is definitely iconic, but we're like technical magic. The spinning house. This was before the Wizard of Oz, and they're literally filming inside of a full mock-up little house with rooms and everything, with people inside of it, spinning the whole damn thing around with camera crew inside the house too. Somebody's gonna get sick.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
just yeah. And then to have a film crew outside the house spinning said house. God, the
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 technical
technical
daredevilry.
yes. We
We
don't have that any we don't have that anymore.
don't have any
Because
daredevilry anymore. We don't even have Daredevil anymore, and he was a shit fucking hero.
and it's all because safety is a chief concern.
Any country that would give up a little freedom for a little safety will have neither and lose both.
And look at where we are. Thanks, OSHA.
All I can say is, look, if they signed the contract, they knew what they were getting in for.
Look, I subverted expectations. Everybody expected me to say Obama.
Ah. I love how everybody fucking either loved him or hated him, but Obama wasn't that bad. Especially compared to Biden.
Obama was a smooth liar.
There's nothing smooth about Biden. Ugh.
I don't know. He's got that balding spot on the top of his head. That might be
Did you
smooth.
did you see that fucking transgender shit that he came out with? He comes out fucking talking about ice cream and talking about how beautiful some girl is. It's like, god damn it, dude! Can you at least try not to lean into the memes that everyone knows you as, you dumb motherfucker? Can you at least not be senile when somebody has killed people and you're supposed to be serious? It's like, hold up a fucking flashcard of a frowny face. This is what you're supposed to be. Oh, God. I would rather have a fucking 20-year-old strung out junkie as a president than that old fuck. And no,
He
it's not
literally,
because he's a Democrat. It's because he's an old fuck who doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. I want somebody young who knows what they're doing sometimes over
wait,
somebody.
wait, don't you think that? Okay, could you not see that as an American Dad skit? Like Patrick Stewart's head of the CIA at a presidential press conference, holding up a little happy face or a frowny face for the president.
And then Roger swoops in with some weird faces. And Klaus swoops in with a fucking German face, because of course he does. I don't know very much about American Dad. All I know is the principal is insane, and somebody made a really funny video going over all the insane shit the principal did.
But yeah, no, the politi- so a couple of people have pointed this out, and that is the fact that Biden is so not there, and
Oh, you want to?
the fact that people went out of their way to elect Fetterman over Dr. Oz. Mr. I had a stroke and am barely functioning as a senator, Fetterman over Dr. Oz, proves just how in place the deep state actually is, to where the president of the United States can be non-functional and the country moves forward.
That's because they wanted somebody that they could control, and boy, it's easy to control him. Just put a small girl and a fucking pint of ice cream in front of him, and he's as happy as a kid in a candy store.
And nobody can tell me that Kamala Harris is worthy of taking the presidency. She,
Willie Brown would say so.
she literally talks like an 8-year-old writes her speeches.
I think Willie Brown would say she'd be a good president. I mean, if he couldn't get the job. See, the reference there is that she sucked Willie Brown's dick when he was what was it, mayor of San Francisco, something like that.
Okay.
She's
I didn't know who
she
Willie
she
Brown was.
she used her womanly wiles to get further. You know, the thing that started Gamergate.
Everything is Gamergate these days.
Yeah, right. Everything was Gamergate back in 2016 right. Too. And to explain that real quick for those who don't know, the reason that Gamergate formed was not because Zoe Quinn was a whore, but because Zoe Quinn was a whore and she got positive coverage for her game because of it. That was the issue that we had, that she was using collusion and fucking bullshit like that when journalism is... I can't even say journalism is supposed to be unbiased now because I know the truth. It was never unbiased. We were idealistic kids. We didn't know or didn't want to believe. Journalism is a yellow business and has been yellow since the day it was thought up.
Journalism was yellow the moment businesses became involved.
Yeah.
Lowest common denominator.
Well, it's like George Carlin said, that one of the many pithy quotes that George Carlin had. Think of how dumb the average person is and realize half of them are dumber than that.
I blame Abraham Lincoln.
Where are you going with this, son?
Look, the South doesn't have to be the good guys for Abraham Lincoln to be a tyrant.
Oh, Abraham Lincoln was totally a tyrant. I didn't know exactly where you were going with that.
Half of the independent papers in the North were torched and burned because they were critical of Abraham Lincoln's war.
Oh, where did I find that video? Or maybe you showed it to me. Where it was going over all the bullshit that Lincoln did.
Yeah, that's part of a Rageaholic video, but
that was
all of his sources.
I like Razorfist. I wouldn't mind doing an interview with him someday.
And half of that shit is shit in the Library of Congress.
Yeah, but nobody reads in this fucking country anymore. At least I have an
No, what I
excuse. I had
no,
a
what
cataract go wrong.
no, what I mean by that is, if anybody wants to refute any of it, you need to refute the U.S. fucking government.
Ugh. A well-armed militia. Wasn't that what the Second Amendment was?
A well-maintained militia.
Well maintained, yes, indeed. I don't even have a gun. I have a well maintained birthday hatchet.
Well, see, here's the thing. Well-maintained, as we understand it today, is not what it meant back then.
No, it meant at the ready.
Functional.
Yeah,
Functional.
it meant ready to rock. And now, shit. But I mean, society's going to collapse in about 40 to 50 years or so. So,
Only Western society. And see, here's the thing. You were talking about a thing popping off. That's not
yeah.
going to happen.
You don't think?
You know why that's not going to happen?
Hmm.
Because it's already happening right now. And I hate to quote Tim Ass Pull, but yeah, we are in an information warfare state. We're not doing the traditional warfare and traditional terrorism and all that stuff.
It's a civil
We
war.
are
It's complicated. I'm half Korean. Wasn't that what he says?
we are in a war of ideals. And China's ideals are winning when, like, even with Elon Musk taking over Twitter, when we're still getting into this weird social crediting system with other shit in ESG. Ugh,
Yeah. But
China's winning.
I don't think China can win. I don't think it's sustainable. There was a Razor Fist video where he went over why it wasn't sustainable, but the short version is they're a paper tiger.
Yes, China is a paper tiger in combat. The whole reason the US was okay with Great Britain giving back Hong Kong and making it like a little special district separate from communist China was the hope that capitalism in Hong Kong and the democracy in Hong Kong would seep into China. Well, it did, just in all the wrong fucking ways. And now Hong Kong is culturally shipping that stuff back to us in the form of shit like social credit.
Hmm. I don't know. I get what you're saying, and it's true. It's very true. And then you look at the fucking what you were saying earlier about the Muslim stuff getting rid of the gays. How is a trans person better than a gay to the Muslims?
Because it is better to have a daughter than to have a gay son to
So they're
Muslims.
so they're just gonna wow. Wow. That is a head fuck. That is an actual head fuck.
You talk to any liberal and they'll say that's extremely progressive, and it's like, you
Wait.
sure about that? That's
I believe
genociding a whole bunch of people.
Yeah, I was gonna say I believe that is a horseshoe. I believe you swooped way past progressive all the way back to regressive. What the fuck? Or I guess in the Muslims' case, they went from regressive to progressive. That is a stack integer overflow. That's what that is. Holy shit.
We
Son, it's
leaked
a
a
good.
little bit of our memory.
I was gonna say, well, son, it's a good thing you didn't have bottom surgery because you just fucked my brain.
Yeah,
I'm way too proud of that joke too. I feel like if anybody does watch this, they're going to take these quotes out of context, and I don't care because they're funny.
Look, I don't give a shit. I am who I am. The people who are going to be mad at me and have a vendetta against me will always have a vendetta against me. There's nothing I can do to fix that.
My whole thing is if I get hate in the comments, I mean, hey, I'm getting comments. That's more than I usually get. And the sad thing is, I'm still going to share this everywhere, even though it doesn't have anything to do with blind people.
So here's the fun thing. Here's the fun thing.
Hmm.
You know how they talk about monetizing your haters? It's true. Do you know why?
Hmm.
Because hate watchers will watch more of your content than your fans.
Oh God, I know exactly
Because
the kind of people you're talking about.
because they're looking for those little itty bitty tidbits that they can use against
They
you.
want the gotcha moments, yeah.
Which means they have to watch all of your content.
Well,
Hi, haters.
at least somebody will watch my content. I hope I maybe I won't share this with Gramps because I'm trying to get him on for an interview because I really want to interview a game dev. And he and I have been friends for a while, but I'm thinking this one might be a little too over the line for him.
Well,
Oh
like I said,
well.
look. I know you live in the West Coast North, so you definitely have a much more liberal upbringing than what I do, being here in the South. And yeah, they're definitely like very opposed things. But here's the thing: at the end of the day, we're both friends, not because we share common ideas or anything like that. We're friends because Sophia Norwitz is an asshole.
Oh, we gotta tell that story. That's where we met. I
Yes,
forgot.
yes.
I thought we met on Saria's forum because I completely blocked
Nope.
out. I completely blocked out Sophia Norwitz because who the fuck cares about that Russian bitch? What's she doing now anyway? Is she still writing for Russian Times or did Vladimir Putin kill her?
I have no clue.
Now I've got to Google it. Where the fuck did
I've
she
not
go?
seen I've not seen a video from her. I've not seen an article from her.
She to those who don't know, she's a thunder cunt. We were on her Discord, or yeah, we were on her Discord. She seemed to be friendly, and then all of a sudden she fucking wasn't. She banned me for some dumb bullshit. Then she banned Sun for some dumb bullshit. So much for being a trans ally, transgender, blah blah blah. What the
Oh
fuck?
no, no, no. She didn't ban me. She nuked her own Discord.
No, that's what it was. Here's her YouTube channel. Let's see if anything's going on here. 11 months ago. Oof.
Mm-hmm.
I have a comment. Oh. What is
It's a
this?
hate comment.
No, just some comment from something I said a year ago. Why
Uh,
do people reply to shit from a year ago?
it's the algorithm sorting and pushing content.
No, she's
Every time
still
the every time the algorithm changes, it goes back through everything and says, "Oh, I can push this content now," even though it's 5 and 6 years old.
she's basically just talking about stupid gaming bullshit.
Which is what she was supposed to be doing all this time.
And is there anything else? Yeah, and then she isn't writing for Russian Times anymore. I tell you that it's not on her fucking byline. But yeah, she's just I still can't get over how bad and disappointing Deathloop was. At least Redfall, I expected to be bad. Sad to see Arcane fall so hard, but the last few outings have sucked. Um, let's see here. Tell me you've never met an actual veteran without telling me you haven't met an actual veteran. Almost nobody talks like this except somebody vying for political office.
See, now there's an interesting thing. There's a quandary that I have noticed
Huh.
when it comes to being trans. So many trans people are either former military or were part of a military family.
Do you think it's like do you think it's like PTSD or something?
I don't think so.
I mean, I
At least
imagine in a couple of
at least
cases it has to
for
be.
for the and yeah, in a couple of cases I would think it is. And this is the one thing I will give Narwitz some credit for. She made a she made a video just excoriating Netflix over which what was it? The guy in Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah.
The Netflix Cowboy Bebop. There was the guy who was force fed like shit that changed his body
Oh
to be more
yeah.
feminine.
Yeah, that was such a great episode in the anime.
And she made this video just excoriating Netflix because they did not know what they were what they were fucking dealing with in that, because it was the story of a soldier being force fed a bunch of drugs, and that's literally what happened to her.
Ew. Oh, I don't deny her transness. She can be whatever she wants, but she's a
No, no,
terrible
no, no,
human
no,
being.
no, no, no. What the crux of the video was the guy in Bebop was fed a bunch of experimental drugs because of PTSD and shit,
Yeah.
which is what happened to Sophia.
Ah. But like I said, I don't deny. I mean, I don't dislike her because she's trans or because, all this shit happened with the drugs and stuff. I dislike her because she's a legitimately terrible person. Those things are not mutually exclusive. You can be trans and be a good person, son. You can be trans and be a bad person. A lot of other people.
See, here's a good rule of thumb. Here's a good rule of thumb. You can tell who a person is by their character, not by their political leaning.
I can tell how a person is by how they treat my dog.
That's character.
Yeah, I know. You can tell a lot about a person by how they treat people or things that they deem to be beneath them. And I mean, the facts are the facts. A dog is beneath a human. It just is what it is. Whereas I baby the shit out of my dog, maybe too much for my own good, an actual, an awful human being, either the dog will know immediately, because Chip does. Sketchy people, he goes apeshit. He fucking hates them. Mm-hmm. Or, they'll be able to fool him, but I'll get a weird vibe off of them. And bad people will always out. The narcissists, the selfish people, they always have a tell.
Now, see, here's a weird thing. Dogs love me. I can't stand dogs. I can't stand dogs, and I can't stand babies.
I have a weird thing with babies. I don't like dealing with babies. I can do it. I don't like doing it.
Apparently, I'm wife material to dogs.
Oh, fuck.
Because even the neutered ones will try to hump my leg.
Well, Chip hasn't humped anything yet. I wonder what Chip would make of you.
I don't like dogs. I mean, it's not like a phobia or anything. I'm more of a cat person. Dogs require so much attention so often.
Yeah, I didn't know that when I got Chip. Apparently, I learned.
Exhausting.
It was very exhausting. Yeah.
I don't think I could stand that, and I kind of can't stand babies for the same reason. They require so much attention.
Babies scare me because of an incident when I was 8. It isn't a bad incident. It's just a really, really, really sad incident. Shit. Of course, my lungs had to do that right then. Damn.
Go ahead and mute your mic and cough it all out. I can keep the listeners entertained with a little bit of my voice, right? Right, everyone? You enjoy my voice, don't you?
And that's why you're a streamer.
Look,
damn.
I'm still amazed. I get okay, so I'm friends with some of the most hyperactive fucking femboys I've ever fucking encountered. Like, there are some, how crazy some of those girl streamers are, the VTube streamers, where they're like how Pippa Pipkin screeches in her laugh like she's a fucking windshield squeegee, right?
Oh god, that visual is so funny.
Well, yeah, and Pika Me, before she retired, her visual was that she laughed like a tea kettle.
Yeah.
And I have friends who are like that, but they're femboys, and then they come into my stream and then they do nothing but go, "I fell asleep. I'm sorry." It's like, no, you fell asleep. That's great. Calmed you the hell down.
That means your soothing voice soothed them. But yeah, I might as well tell this story too, because I haven't told it in a long time, and it isn't as bad as all that. It just had a really big effect on me. When I was 8, we had a family friend named Donnie and his wife Sharon, and they were druggies and terrible human beings. I don't know why Carl hung out with them. So they bring their daughter, and she is very disabled, extremely disabled. She was non-verbal, non-functioning. This kid was fucked. I mean, blind, deaf, barely any brain activity. This kid, there was no future for this kid. This kid did not interact with anyone, ever, at all, except me. She'd grab my finger, and she would laugh, kinda, and that was it. And it happened like 3 or 4 times over the maybe 2 months that they brought her around. And then she died, and all I could think was, thank God. And I was considered a monster for saying that, but it's like, no, I looked into her soul. There was nothing there. She was trapped in that body. And the death that she suffered was the best thing that could have ever happened to her. And it really altered my view on what death was. And then Mom had 12 heart attacks and had to be put in a hospice, and I'm the one that had to do that. And it's like, well, I mean, we've been down this road before. Merciful deaths? Hell yeah, I've been through a few of those. But ever since then, I don't like babies, because all I can remember is Christine. And it's just, oh, that poor baby. That is such a bad way to live. And there were rumors that the mother drowned her in the sink, and I don't care how she died. I'm just glad she died. Because nobody should have to live in a fucked up body like that. I mean, there's Brad with his ALS, there's me with all my problems, there's trans people with all their trans people problems, there are people in iron lungs and shit. There are degrees of fucked, and that kid was at the very, very bottom. And I'm so glad that she died. But
So,
yeah.
I have a metaphysical question, possibly. Do you think the reason that she kind of laughed is because she saw the best in you, even as a baby?
I have to assume that there was something of my personality that got through to her. I mean, I want to say it was because I'm a good person deep down, but I wasn't a good person in any way, shape, or form when I was 8 years old. I was a monster until I was about 18. And even then, it still took me a trip to jail to really unfuck that whole thing. But, I mean, as cliche as it sounds, I guess she saw some good in me. I mean, it legitimately broke me up for a long time, because I was really happy that I was able to improve her god-awful life a little bit by just hanging out with her and, holding her, having her hold my finger. And like, I didn't even hug her or nothing. They put her on the ground, and I didn't want to pick her up because I didn't want to hurt her. And so she just laid there and held onto my finger, and I'm just sitting there like, what do I do now? I'm just gonna just sit here and let it go. I didn't even talk to her because she was deaf. So it was a really weird experience, and it was really sad, and it has affected me in that. It has affected me in multiple ways. You probably could like chart where it has affected me, but the most important thing is the whole death thing. That death doesn't bother me. That most death is usually a mercy. And God, I can't wait to die and leave this fucking body behind, but I'm not going to until I'm 120. So only 80 more years. But yeah, I'm getting that sad ass story out, so I don't have to sell it again.
I think a lot of people don't understand death the way they should.
It's not like it's a big mystery. Well, I mean, it is kind of a big mystery, but it's not like it's this unknown thing. We know what happens. You die, and then something else happens, and that something else might be nothing, but that isn't here or there, because if you're dead, you're already past.
What the hell do you care?
Yeah, exactly. The reason people are uncomfortable with dying is because
they don't know what's after.
Yeah, and as for me, I want to know. Not enough to, speed the process along, but it'll be a nice surprise when we get there.
To be honest, this is